Hello and welcome to Pride of South London Fan TV. Ali here, bringing you my match review of the game between Palace and Bournemouth, which of course finished 2-0 to Bournemouth. The only thing that saved me was that I was on my way to the game to find out that Norwood Junction was closed from 9 o'clock. So I went home, watched the game on Amazon, which was interesting because the commentators said exactly the things that Palace fans have been saying all season about the team: lack of style, lack of identity, lack of urgency, lack of structure. And everything just came to the fore tonight. It is time, in my opinion, for Roy Hodgson to go. I said before West Ham and Bournemouth that there needed to be an upturn in performance and results. There hasn't been a solid point at West Ham, but tonight was just nowhere near good enough. And the truth is, Roy got absolutely schooled by the Bournemouth manager. Fair play to Roy at halftime. So whatever he said and Ray Lewington said must have had an impact because we did come out better, at least with some more enthusiasm. But then the Bournemouth manager made substitutions. Double substitution on the 60th minute that regained control of the midfield areas. And Roy just didn't do anything until the 68th minute. We should have made a sub at half time, let alone the 68th minute. Now, I do have sympathy for Roy in terms of the fact he hasn't been supported in recruitment in terms of the right areas, and I will come on to that in this video. But there are certain things that he could be doing, and he's just playing the same players that hasn't been working. I mean, Jeffrey Schlupp, it's been mentioned a lot. I would have started Ahamada. I mean, somebody said on social media, Ahamada can't do any worse than what's been put out at the moment. But listen, having good young players and a good academy is pretty pointless when you got Roy Hodgson as the manager. It's like having the cheeky girls in charge of the Brit school. And you go back to his comments about the young players when they came on, Raksaki, and then the fans voted Raksaki as player of the month in protest. It's been PR disaster after PR disaster recently. And the post-match interview where he said Palace fans have been spoiled is just another shocker. And he's already backtracked on that in his press conference. But listen, I feel sorry for him though. He's a 76-year-old man who shouldn't be out there, a 76-year-old gentleman who shouldn't be out there taking the heat like he did tonight. And I want to make one thing abundantly clear. I utterly condemn the fan who threw the bottle at him. That's not acceptable. And that is really crossing a line. And it's sad, really, because Roy should have been allowed to go and walk away in the sun in the summer with the fans singing his name. But that's not happened. I think he needs to go, but there needs to be a collective responsibility from the board. And that's what I want to see from this board. I didn't see that last year with Vieira. I think it was right that Vieira went as well. But Vieira wasn't backed with a central midfielder after Conor Gallagher left. And Roy has not been backed in certain areas. Our recruitment this summer was dire. And this is where I want to talk a little bit. The mood around the club has been pretty bad over the last few weeks. And this is more than just results. This is about the identity of our football club. It's been really sad the last week or two to hear so many fans on social media and in person tell me that they have just feel a disconnect with the club right now. I had someone on social media tell me he'd been going to Palace for 30 years and he didn't go tonight because of what gone on, the lack of effort he saw in the summer towards improving things. And listen, there seems to be two schools of thoughts, right? I don't like the whole beaky stuff about Parish because I come back to collective responsibility. There needs to be a responsibility for what's happened in the summer from everyone. I don't think the board are aligned. Listen, the fact that it's not just Parish. That I did a poll about who you would prefer trust more with a club, control of the club, Parish or Textor, and most fans, nearly 80%, voted for Parish. There's a lack of faith in Textor. Harrison Blitzer tried to invest in Chelsea and Man United. There needs to be responsibility from all of them about where the club are right now. But the recruitment in the summer, the fruits of that have started to bear tonight. Like, we look at the season where there was no effort to invest on the left-hand side. Schlupp's been playing on the left-hand side for most of the season. So we failed to make any sort of effort in the summer to... You're never going to replace Wilfried Zaha, one of our greatest ever players, if not the greatest. But there was no effort. Sinisterra had a good game tonight, didn't he? He was someone we were linked with. And then, listen, You get people, you get fans saying, "Oh, well, we went through two administrations." There's a new generation of fans who have no idea, but it's not just new generation fans. And by the way, new generation fans deserve a voice. There's new generation fans going to the games every day, every week, home and away. They deserve a voice just as much as a fan who's going for 30 years. But there's a fan on 30 years on my social media saying he didn't go today because he feels that disconnect. Every single generation of Palace fan right now is feeling a disconnect to this club. And Parish and the board need to wake up to that. Um, I have been a fan through two administrations. My first season ticket was the year of Goldberg. I was a fan during the administration under Simon Jordan. But that doesn't mean that I can't see that it's not going to work. Having Joel Ward and Nathaniel Klein as your right backs in the Premier League in 2023, I think most Palace fans are fair. We don't want to splash loads and loads of cash to put the club in jeopardy, but some sort of token effort towards the left-hand side, you know, maybe 10 to 15 million on somebody like Sinistera, so that we could have at least had a bash at it this season without ending up with what we've ended up with, which is a team that lack really any attacking intent. Everything was going down. I would say that Jordan Ayew first half was really the only one really coming out with credit, but it became a bit in the second half like they were double marking Elise, and it came a bit like what we were like when it was only Saha as our attacking threat. And listen, Roy as well has been really unlucky with injuries. You know, Elise and Eze have only had 45 minutes on the pitch together. And when they are on the pitch together, we're a totally different team with a different dimension. I don't deny the fact Roy has been unlucky in terms of injuries, but there are other things I think that he could have done. And basically, he's now showing things about his management that we knew. He's unlucky. He wasn't able to build on the momentum really because of the injuries from last season. But it is time for a change now. What that change is, I don't know. Steve Cooper lost 5-0 tonight, so that could be handy for Parish. But if he's the answer, what's the question? Because Forest fans are saying the same things that Palace fans are saying about the style of play. So I'm not utterly convinced on him. Personally, I would like Potter, but Parish before the game was saying that we're going to get a few loans in to cover Decore, and maybe if we're lucky, the left-hand side, given Wilfred Zaha has left the football club in the summer. But what manager is going to want to be enticed by that? What manager is going to be attracted by that? Potter could be up for the England job in the summer. So it's probably Cooper if we're lucky, really, isn't it? Big Sam? Maybe he's going to give him a call. It's frustrating. Listen, I do want to say that Steve Parish is the best chairman of my lifetime as a Palace fan. And I do actually, some people won't like this. I do want him connected to a club in some way. I just don't think he's got the right people alongside him. Should he be letting more investors have more of a say, maybe? But the board are definitely not aligned. And that is proven in the fact that Parish voted against players from multi-setup operations being allowed to transfer between clubs when Texter's got multiple clubs. The board aren't aligned, and that's the square root of the problem. The problems run much deeper than Roy Hodgson. But I think Roy tonight, I will say Roy has to go, sadly. I wish it could have been with the fans singing his name in the summer, but sadly, it's not happened that way. I think what I would finish is by saying is I think the fans who go home and away, and there's fans far more than me that go home and away, deserve answers. Deserve a bit. Listen, I know they're not going to give everything away about our transfer policies, and they shouldn't. But a bit of self-reflection on the summer. What did go wrong, and what is the intention for the January window? Parish kind of gave bits away in the Amazon interview, but I think you need to speak directly to the fans now, because this is more than just results. This is about the identity of our football club. Yes, there was a train strike today, but there didn't need to be so many empty seats, and that should tell you and the board everything. Speak to the fans. There's still time in the season to turn it around. There's still the FA Cup in January. There's still Eze to come back. We can always live in hope. Liverpool on Saturday. That should be fun. If you've liked this video, press the subscribe button. But yeah, Bournemouth 2, Palace 0. Sinistera was quite good, wasn't he? He could have been someone we could have signed. Anyway, that's me signing out. Oh yeah, and Roy said that we've been spoiled. And that's just been PR disaster after PR disaster the interviews, hasn't it? But yeah, will Roy go? Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Roy will go? Should he go? Do you think he will go? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you've liked this video, press the subscribe button. I'll be back after Liverpool on Saturday. Who knows? Maybe we'll win. You never know. It is Palace.